Did that come through? Hi, Phil.
We're live, by the way.
Hey, are we sure this time? Take 17?
Yeah, take 3, 4.
See, if you didn't say that, nobody would know.
Yeah.
Because we weren't live when we were all talking.
We thought we were live.
Doing our thing.
They didn't realize that we were live. What we got here, though?
What do you got?
I have the MPX in the full size, and then you have like the one that
SIG
before
MPX.
we add water.
SBR. Look at that.
So it starts the little baby one, then you add water, and it turns into a big one. Although my dot's not working.
Yeah,
these SIG optics on there, and my Juliet 4 here is not. It's got no dot.
It's an interesting setup that you got there.
But it does flip to the side.
My dot's working.
Yeah, that's a dot.
Yeah.
See, mine
So
doesn't have a dot.
actually, for the astute viewer, all of our folks are super smart. There's something wrong with his setup.
Yeah,
What is it?
I'm telling you, maybe I need batteries or something because there's no dot on there. But it is cool. Flip to the side.
You gotta flip to side.
Yeah, I got to flip to side dot so I can see my no irons, and then I can see.
Who signs his paycheck around here? What the heck
Hey,
are we?
it magnifies my thumb though.
Nice sights.
Your thumb's your front section.
Anyway, just a couple of examples of some of the cool stuff that we've got
Yeah, we
around
literally
here.
just got this one in yesterday, and
This-
then we got the Munchkin in.
This rifle is one that we're using. We're a brand new SIG law enforcement dealer. SLED. This is a SLED rifle that we're.
Cover around pretty face.
You did fine.
You sure you want
Do
me to
more.
put it down?
Yeah.
Not really.
Face for radio, right? So this is actually a SIG law enforcement gun, but they are available in the civilian market. It is a rifle, so it does require a tax stamp. But a little birdie told me that SBR tax stamps are only taking like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, we had
So-
a customer come in, said it was like 12 days. Another one come in, it was like 16 days. So
Something to think about.
might actually be inside that 30-day window. They
Something
keep
to
teasing
think
us with
about.
the code for silencers.
I like it.
Pretty soon.
I like it a lot.
This one's got the flat blade. I don't know what they're calling it, but their fancy trigger.
Oh, sure does.
It is clear, but let's go ahead and make sure. But really nice short and reset on it. Is really nice. It's nice.
You smell the new gun.
Yes, I do smell a new gun. It smells good.
Smells good.
It smells like it needs a bunch of gunpowder in there, though.
Is this really our show? You have
is our
3
show.
pages of stuff we have to
Dude,
talk
we've
about
got
today.
all kinds of stuff going on right now. Girls just want to have guns tonight.
So-
Totally
so-
filled up. 2.0 next month is still got a couple of spots left open on that one. So we're having fun there. Tomorrow, everybody's favorite. Okay, not everybody's favorite. We have Valentine's Day tomorrow. So the exciting part about that is it starts our 10% off in store. So 10% off all purchases $100 or more from tomorrow, Thursday the 14th through Sunday the 18th. Online with date night, you can get that 10% off right now.
And that applies to firearms, everything.
Everything.
Yep.
Everything over $100.
Classes, memberships,
Classes, memberships, anything over $100.
10% off anything in the store.
Yes, as long as it's over $100.
I like
so
it.
we not do this like ammo's not
This
10%
this
off.
is
Let's
bare.
actually buy more than
Is this
$100 worth.
is that over $100?
It's over $100. So
Just-
you get like
Just barely.
almost $200 off this. So
That's awesome.
yeah, so we got fun
That's
stuff
awesome.
there. But
So that is Thursday through
Thursday
Sunday.
through Sunday in store
Okay.
and online right now. So come grab a bunch of stuff.
Go
and buy
get
all the
something.
things.
Take advantage of that for
Yes.
sure.
Lots of classes coming up too.
CCW Saturday
Yep, and
full.
Monday. Totally
CCW
full.
Saturday is full, but we've got one spot for the Monday class available.
Do we have? Yeah, one
Yep.
spot. Phil
One
says.
person has
Okay.
rescheduled today, so we got one.
So if you're wanting to get your CCW, and we're going to talk about how important it is to have that here later on in the show today, but if you want that Monday spot, call in and tell them you heard you get 10% off and take it. That's Monday, 8 a.m. to 4:30, 5 o'clock. So
Yep.
these are really good classes that we're doing on Saturday. We've got spots in both of them, and I think You can get 10% off of one or the other, but if you sign up for both, do you get a bigger discount?
Yes.
You get 20% off.
You get 2 for $150.
So they're $100 a piece,
Yeah.
or if you want to take both, it's $150.
Correct.
So that's a 25% discount.
That's a good one.
Thank you, Mrs. Richardson, for teaching me algebra. Seriously, that was my algebra teacher's. Yeah,
And
that's.
I'm really
yeah.
like, everybody knows that he's just making all of it up.
X
And
times
he's got
Y
it down
equals
right here.
X times AX equals B. So if A is
No, it's a squared
No.
plus b squared equals c squared.
no pi r squared, cornbread are round.
Area of the circle, pi r squared.
No, pi are round, cornbread are square.
We got dad jokes coming out everywhere.
Anyway,
Where is
That
Jason?
joke graphic.
dad joke.
I like that actually.
Use this audio. Dad joke. All right, anti-carjacking and basic hand-to-hand, not handgun, but basic hand-to-hand. Dennis teaches those. They're fantastic. Yeah, not 80-year-old Dennis, the actual fighter Dennis. Of course,
Only 80?
yeah, I wouldn't pick a fight with him though, because he'll just.
We outlived dinosaurs. How
Yeah.
do you do that?
He'll just shoot you. All right, but sign up for both and get 25% off. Defensive handgun, one is coming up Sunday. That one's sold out though, right? Hey, thank you very much for taking all these classes. We're big believers in training, you know.
Absolutely.
We prefer you take it from us because we know we've got great trainers and great curriculum and a great facility, but if you're not training, you're not having fun and you're not ready. And we're all about making sure that you're ready. So make sure that you're taking some training classes.
And not just the guy who has a gun.
Yeah, your neighbor who says he knows stuff.
Yeah.
Even though he might know stuff, but
You know,
make sure that you're training. And that's another really important thing about the classes that we do here is you can retake them anytime that you want. My audio's who?
Okay, so
Low?
Echo Dell texted me and told me I was loud, but Chris Cox says your audio is fuzzy.
Okay.
I
So-
have a feeling it might just be Ron that's fuzzy.
Is my mic upside down?
Is Ron your Valentine?
Stop.
No,
Stop.
I didn't mean that. Okay. Anyway. Now he's dancing.
If you take a class from us, can I sell something? Can I talk about stuff? If you take a class, when you take a class from us, what? What did he say?
I want to see you do the floss.
If you're doing the floss, please stop. I'm just
Do it.
so tired of
Go
it.
for it.
Yeah.
Come on, the kids do it.
All right, so take a class from us. You can retake those classes anytime we've got open spots. So
Yeah.
when the CCW laws change for Castle Doctrine or Stand Your Ground or whatever it is, all you got to do is call us and say, hey, I took my CCW from you 3 years ago. I'd like to come in and freshen up the law section. Boom, we got an empty spot, you're in. Not a problem.
And
So-
thank you to all you guys that are actually doing the classes, because you keep hearing that whole, we're sold out, we have 1 or 2 spots left, so people are going out, getting the training. It's awesome.
Dude,
the
it's-
only
it's-
downside to this is it's making Phil do a little extra work trying to figure out where we can fit more classes.
Yep, but
He
we're working
really
on
likes
that.
that kind of work though. He's
Yep.
really actually not upset about having to do that. Uh-oh. And speaking of Phil, playing with things,
Looks like Phil's your Valentine.
I don't know. Yeah, you saw it here,
What
guys.
are you guys doing for Valentine's Day? Avoiding it? Forgetting about your wives? Not buying flowers?
What?
What?
So then we have
Notice you skipped right over
Outlaw next Thursday. Oh,
that. Carbine 1, we got Carbine 1,
on
Tuesday.
Got
Three
a couple of spots
three
left.
spots left there.
Yes. We've got Outlaw match next Thursday, so that'll go up Saturday for sign-ups.
Registration
9 a.m.
starts at 9 a.m. on Saturday.
Yep.
Yep.
Mike said now Chris is quiet.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Stop working.
Chris being quiet. And that was probably not even recorded. That man, nobody ever tells me I'm quiet.
That is true.
No, are we
That
having
is true.
like major issues?
Yeah, he can't. Our AV guy sucks.
No, he's a very good guy. He knows what he's doing.
No, he's a great guy. He just,
We're probably screwing something up.
yeah, we're talking.
I mean-
While you guys are taking a break, somebody asked what happened to the amateur IDPA type class.
It's coming. The amateur IDPA or the practice IDPA course is coming.
Both. So we've got the basics to competition that Dustin's working on getting all that finalized, so we can get that actually on the schedule for all you guys. And then the practice night, Dustin and I are going to try and see if we can pull it off this month. If not this month, it'll be next month where we'll have all of that going up. So you'll be able to come in, have a bunch of different ideas. So there's some other options. Here, let's put it on. Oh, look at that. It'll be like a microphone.
Is that one of those fully auto clip-a-zines?
No, this is a fully semi-auto.
Fully
Clip-a-zine.
semi-auto
We can,
clip-a-zine.
we can pass it back and forth.
Microphone is friggin' mag. That's awesome. We need to make one of those for real. So anyway, can you hear us now?
Can you hear me now?
We got a basic handgun class coming up, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. We just added that. There are spots available. Go online, get signed up. Remember, what's the code for 10% off?
Date
online?
night.
Date night. And then in
In March.
In March,
We're teamed up with SIG. We're going to do a March month madness or something along that. We'll have more details. You'll see the actual
For the
graphics
whole
and all
month.
that good stuff.
It's
But it'll be
gonna
for the
be SIG
whole
exciting.
month of excitement for SIG. So they were awesome. They stepped up. So all month long. Anytime that you purchase a SIG product, now that goes all the way down to like.
You tell them. We'll tell them in March. Just put it on your calendar. In March, SIG is going to be here. Do you have a date lined up for when they're going to be here for the demo days?
Yes, the 22nd and 23rd.
Yep.
It's a Friday and Saturday.
Yep.
Friday will be noon to close, and Saturday will be all day. So it'll be
Yep.
9 to 7 all day. We'll have the whole lineup out.
He's bringing lots of cool stuff. You'll
lots
get to
of
shoot
toys.
this kind of stuff, for free.
We'll have pistols, rifles.
Yep.
They're talking about bringing out some silencers, so
Yep.
you can check out their silencers, their optics.
We're going to give away an X5 pistol.
X5 pistol, got free ammo, all
Yep.
kinds of
So,
goodies that are going to be going on that month.
Stay
So,
tuned, pay attention, because that's coming, and we're going to blast the heck out of that.
yeah, so it'll
so
be
that
fun
everybody
and
can take
exciting.
care of it. All right. What is this, Friday, 12 to 7? Oh, those are the hours.
Those are
Okay.
the hours.
Oh,
Yep.
cool.
I went
Look,
over
we
that.
did all that stuff that's going on.
Yeah, see?
All right.
All that good stuff. So,
Yeah,
in the
what are we
news.
talking about?
In the news, we got a lot of excitement. So, you mentioned advantages to having your CCW permit.
Yes, I'm excited about
So
this.
there's a new Senate bill, SB 39, and in a real short form, what they're doing is they're removing 4 components of that and replacing those 4 components with verbiage that basically flips the script on it. So in a nutshell, it's passed the Senate, it's headed over to it's passed the committee, the Senate committee, and going out to the full Senate any time. So in short form, public transportation right now, Metrolink, your buses, the
Share
trolley,
ride,
all that good
call
stuff,
ride, yeah.
all of that, you cannot currently carry any firearm, whether it be unloaded or otherwise, concealed or otherwise, you cannot carry one on there. However, if this passes all the way, if you have your CCW license, you'll be able to carry concealed on any of the public transportation.
Metrolink,
Right.
the bumper car trolley down in U City.
Hey, 3 accidents in 3 months.
That's pretty good. That's almost-
They're
that's-
averaging a pretty good, solid, steady
Almost as good as my
keeping happening.
teenage daughter when she got her license. And that will recognize not just Missouri CCW, but out-of-state CCW
Out-of-state
can also
CCW, yeah.
carry on the Metrolink. But again, that
Not
does
permitless.
not apply to the permitless carry or the constitutional carry.
However, you
have
will be able to carry an unloaded firearm
in a case.
as long as it is cased. So
Yeah.
they are giving
and
you
it
an
doesn't
exception, I
look
guess,
like it's a gun.
if you're
So-
trying to get to.
Yeah,
well,
if
if you're trying to get here and you need to have some work done on your firearm,
You can
put it
have-
in your case unloaded and you're fine, or get your CCW and then you're fine as
Then
well.
you can have it on your person, but you
Yeah.
have to have a CCW.
Yeah.
So call your representatives, tell them that you support that, tell them to pass that bad boy.
Yep.
All right.
So some of the other oddball stuffs that are out there, HR 8 I think it's over in Chicago. They are actually, I guess that's the big one nationwide.
Oh, this one's-
in a nutshell, they're trying to criminalize individual sales of firearms without having a background check.
Yep.
Now, they've already tried this in a couple of states, and they run into big problems when they do, because there's really nothing in there that allows anybody except a registered FFL to be able to go into the NICS system and actually run the background checks. So again, it's one of those things like the legalization of the marijuana side. It's like you're not really paying attention to what laws are already out there and what is the current protocols. I know it's easy to get great talking points saying, hey, we're going to do universal background checks and so on and so forth. But the downside is this is going for any kind of transfer. So they're not giving any kind of a determination as to what constitutes a transfer. So with
It's just a mess. It's Illinois, and I grew up over there. I love the state. I love the people, but that Chicago political machine is a nightmare. Here's what it's coming down to: they are going to require this part of this bill requires you to give them your social media handles, so that they can go review your social media accounts, and they can make a determination based on that review, which is done by law enforcement, that you can no longer have a FOID card or own a firearm, based on the social media review. There is zero.
They're not giving any.
There's no right to
any
defense. There's no
real-
right to trial. It's very, very unconstitutional. It's extremely arbitrary.
Yeah.
You could put a picture. My son, 23 years old, can post a picture of him at the range holding an AR, smiling, and they could say that kid's got a problem. Boop. No FOID
They're not
card.
saying
you can't own a gun.
what it is. So
Yeah. It's a
it doesn't
dangerous,
necessarily
dangerous
have to
thing.
have any particular anything.
Now,
so,
the state of New York has a similar bill that's on. I don't think it's been passed, but they're going to require your login and password to your social media accounts, not just your handles, but your login and password, so that they can go in and look at your entire history.
yeah, it's clearly, I mean, that's an absolute violation.
Here's the
of
Constitution.
privacy.
That's the Second Amendment.
And First
I
Amendment.
passed a background check. Give me my gun.
Right, First Amendment. I have the right to say whatever I want, even
So-
if it offends someone. You just don't have the ability of doing something that's going to cause a problem for someone.
We've talked about this time and time again. That's not that the attack on our Second Amendment rights is on the law-abiding
Right.
citizen's Second Amendment right is never going to go away, and they want to take all of the guns off the streets. A few of them will say that, but that is the goal overall, and they're going to do it by death by 1,000 cuts. There's also the potential that they're going to tax ammunition in Illinois at 50%.
Yep.
You'll pay a 50% Illinois sales tax for any ammo that you buy.
A lot of those are floating around, not just in Illinois, but all over the place.
All over the place. And you know what?
have, like, California Justice
Yep.
Department. So now these red flag gun laws, and at first glance, red flag gun laws almost sound like it might not be a horrible problem, being that if someone notices that you're acting a little crazy,
It's a polished
that
turd.
they can go in and do things. But the problem is you've got, so in 2016, there was 86 gun confiscations based on the red flag laws. In
Without due
2017,
process.
there's
Zero due
104.
process. Zero
They
due process.
expanded everything, and there was 424 orders that were issued in 2018. So now that you've got these guys going out there, and there's nothing saying what they have to do, just that a person is in fear for anything, ultimately.
You scare them.
And they
Because
don't
you
have to
scare
have
them.
any proof.
They don't have to have a reason.
They come
so
in
if you
and
and your
just take the
neighbor,
guns.
if you and your neighbor are having a little tiff over the who's supposed to mow what in the yard, he can file a complaint and says, this guy scares me, and they'll come take your guns. No due process, nothing. You just lost your firearms.
Yeah.
Here's what's scary, people, the crazy, like, baby mamas out there, or baby daddies, that can just be like, no, I'm scared, and then
Yeah, that Sam's pointing out, like, what happens when you have somebody that may just have an issue for something completely unrelated. Baby's daddy didn't pick him up on time, or baby's mama didn't do this on time,
think
or
about,
whatever. I mean,
know.
anything. All it takes is someone making a phone call and saying, I think this person, blah, blah, blah.
Is a threat to himself
And it doesn't,
or others.
well, it doesn't even
Well,
necessarily
done.
require it to be a threat to someone else or anyway. You
It's-
guys get the gist of that. I'm sure you guys are all.
We got to
kinda on that
fight. You
same
got to
boat
vote.
with
You
it.
got to be involved with your local laws. You got to write your state representatives, you got to write your local representatives, you got to be involved. And this is a battle that is, you know, they're counting on us ignoring all this stuff and doing nothing. So please be involved.
And speaking of that, doing nothing, you got the
Supreme Court
dirtbag Nathan Phillips that started all that big hoopla with the Catholic kid or the Christian kids or whatever they are, the kids, the all boys group, Covington High. Luckily, we've actually got an attorney that's stepping up, and he's actually prosecuting some of these guys and going after them, and he's going after Nathan Phillips directly.
Should be.
He's going after a bunch of the media groups. He's going after, from what he's saying, they're still compiling a list. The list is so long. So they're sending out letters saying, hey, you better correct your stories. And the point is not that whether anybody was in the right or wrong in their beliefs behind it. The reality is what happened and what was said to have happened are two totally different things.
Oh, yeah.
And what was said happened was pretty egregious.
These guys
but what actually
aggressive,
happened was quite the opposite. In fact, the kids were actually the ones that were getting attacked.
They were assaulted.
And so luckily there's an attorney out there that's still fighting on the good side and said, no, I'm going to step up and I'm going to prosecute these guys for ultimately the lies and the hoaxes. So
well, and you know, social media now, those comments are worldwide. I mean, you defame someone, and you see it all the time. People that don't know you don't know them, have had zero contact with them, calling you names and all kinds of stupid stuff.
The keyboard
online.
warriors are amazing. The keyboard warriors are amazing. People have become way too comfortable in saying things online that they wouldn't say to your face.
Why do people think that it's funny to try to hurt somebody? Why do people find joy in that? That bothers me, because that's what that is. They get joy in calling people names and making accusations that are untrue or unfounded just because they can. It's disturbing, and they need to be punished.
We get that all, we have that all the time on our.
Yeah, we got them all the time on our page.
Yep.
Okay.
But keep fighting a good fight. And
What's I'm really excited about.
Fight the good fight.
I'm really excited about this new green law
Hold on.
that's been proposed.
the Green New Deal.
Somebody asked if you guys would just go over a Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS real quick as far as a carry gun.
Yeah.
Opinion on that.
Do it.
Do you like it or do you not, and do we have them in the store? Gen 5 MOS.
We do have them in the store.
I know that I've got a 19 MOS, and I believe it's a Gen 5. It might be a
Yes.
4, but I think it's a 5.
Yep.
That gun is hard to get. A lot of
It's
people are going
awesome.
to those MS guns or those MOS guns. It is like any other tool you're going to put in your toolbox. You have to practice with it. There are some definite advantages to having an MOS on your firearm, and there are some things that can be disadvantages. Printing becomes more of an issue. The holster that you're using become more of an issue. Not overcomable, but certainly you need to...
Right belt and the right holster will take care of
certainly
that.
you need to address those. But with the MOS, if you haven't shot one, we've got an MOS downstairs, I think on a 34 or 35.
34.
It's on a 34, 9 millimeter. You can shoot it and see what it's like. A lot of people don't realize that when you, especially when you start, now I've got an FNX 45 with an MOS on it. The first time I brought that gun out, it took me a while to find that red dot. And if you can't find that dot quickly to engage your target, it defeats the purpose, right?
Yeah.
So, like,
It does
but
take
after
time.
you do it for a while, you start developing that muscle memory. It happens. But carrying with an MOS as your defensive handgun, I'm not against it as long as you will practice
Yes.
and train.
Practice, practice, practice. It's one of those things, and really, what you end up finding out when you go to a dot and put a dot onto a pistol is you really realize that when you're actually drawing that gun and actually presenting that gun, you don't do it nearly as proficiently as you think you do. And so we're all used to the dots and the lines, and we're trying to line everything up and so forth, and we don't notice how much we're actually moving until you put a dot on there that is going to the center line of where that round, at least
Supposed to go.
theory,
one
where
thing-
it's going to go. So they say that it takes upwards of 1,000 presentations before it becomes natural. And from those that have learned how to shoot the dot well, They say that once you learn the dot, all other shooting becomes easier because your presentation becomes more proficient in its exact every time.
Right.
Because you're trying to get that dot to show up every time. And once you have that going, the front sight is going to be in front of the rear sight. It's going to be centered up because it's the only way the dot's going to be in the center of the screen. So as long as you will practice with it, it's phenomenal. I mean,
Yep. It does support finding that front sight faster. You're going to want co-witness sights on the gun. So you're going to want raised sights so that you can co-witness, because you can't guarantee that dot's always going to work. Batteries run out and stuff breaks. So you have to be proficient with your iron sights anyway. And one of the things about when you start to present that firearm from a defensive standpoint or to engage a target, the first thing you want to find is that front sight and push it to your target, right? You want to find the front sight and push it out there to the target. And so that skill set does not go away when you put a red dot on your pistol.
yep, same thing. And yeah, throw a light on there and you're golden.
Yeah, nice
You gotta have a
holster.
light.
TLR1, HL, nice
APL,
Trijicon,
APL
optic,
work.
Glock 19 with raised night sights, extended mag release,
Holosun
21 round mag
507.
pull magazine, some SIG,
No big monster magazine.
jacketed hollow points.
No big magazine.
No, my 21 rounder is my secondary.
As a backup, yeah.
Yeah,
but
it
not
is.
Not as a main. You're kind of defeating the whole.
It's like, well,
Unless you go with the 19X, because that's such a horrible idea for a carry gun. Or
Is
not
it?
really. No, I actually like the 19X and the 45. Everybody.
what's the
gave
first
them
rule of a gunfight?
Have one.
Have a gun. So whatever you can carry it every day and be
Yeah.
practiced and proficient with it. And there's a lot of stuff that'll work. But
As far as carrying something like that, who's going to come in and talk to Cam? Because Cam is there as well.
Yeah, come in and
Cam
talk to
does
Cam.
carry one.
Cam's got, he's got a bazillion different Glocks that configurations, but he does have a 19 Gen 5 MOS with a dot on it. I think he's got a.
he likes it a lot.
I don't remember what he's got,
I think
a
he knows that,
Venom
and
or
that's
a
why he has
Viper.
set up on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, but it's got a light on there. And anybody that's seen Cam, he's all of 120 pounds, soaking wet with 3
Yeah.
sweatshirts on.
Those
And
are-
still carries a. I've seen. I mean, he
Big
has
gun.
carried a 34 with a dot and a light.
With a t-shirt on. not
With a
with
t-shirt
the
on, appendix. So don't give me none of that. You can't do it. There are a couple of body types that will struggle with appendix.
Why
and
you
that's
looking at
all
me?
we'll say.
Why are you looking at me?
So anyway, keys to the castle right
Got
there,
a
buddy.
key to the kingdom. That'll get you in the gun case,
Or the optics case.
or the optics case, or the light case, or the knife case.
It's the keys to the
All right.
castle.
So, any other questions, Samantha?
Nope, that was really all the questions
Cool.
we had. Mike Odell was just giving us advice on sound. He didn't actually care.
Okay. All right. Covered stuff going on. Covered the new toys. Talked about the House bill or the Senate bill, SB 39. Yeah.
If you didn't fling all of your papers off to
Dude,
the
I just
side,
less
you
is
know.
more. Less is more. All right. What else we got?
We got your rant and a hero.
So
You're gonna rant on
we kind of ranted. My rant is that
a little bit.
that social media, delving into our lives because they know what's best for us. The Second Amendment exists to make sure that the government is beholden to the people. And more, for what reason, I don't know, the people are willing to give that control to somebody else. It's like saying, here, Ron, you make me do what you think is best. That ain't how it works.
No.
That is my continual rant, is that the government exists to do the will of the people, not to control the will of the people.
Agreed.
Right?
That's what we've
I
got.
mean, bottom line is, people say,
right.
well, you don't need a 30-round magazine. Well,
We
they
don't
say,
need a car that goes faster than the speed limit either.
yeah, then we should all drive bicycles. Oh, green law. Yeah, I love that. That's a great idea. That green law. That's another.
Oh, the Green New Deal.
These people think that they've got, as part of this green deal that they're planting trees that grow money.
No. No, there's nothing about planting anything. Just
No combustion engines, they take
No
away
airplanes.
airplanes, right?
no airplanes. Yeah, that's great. And the Hawaii's governor or mayor or
First-
whatever, she's super excited about this. Totally great. How is she going to get anywhere?
Yeah. They're
I
gonna
guess
sailboat.
boat, I mean-
Sailboat. It's gonna have to be a sailboat,
Yeah.
right?
It would.
Or a paddle
it would
boat.
be.
They have to sit there and.
Yeah.
This is just rings. Take Al Gore's plane first. See how that goes.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Can't fix stupid.
Of course, I mean, FAQs
And you
going
can't-
up, coming
you can't-
down, going up.
You can't make this. This is stuff you can't even think about to make. I mean, anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Green
George
law.
Orwell did
Yeah.
1984 was a pretty accurate representation of what they're trying for
A few
now.
years off, but you know.
So, yeah.
All right. So
We'll
anyway,
see.
I've ranted.
So, the hero.
You got a
Savannah
good one.
Lindquist.
Yep.
So, obviously, we've been talking a whole lot about all this gun control measures and so forth. And so, in my opinion, she's one of those heroes out there. She's one of the few people that actually was approved to testify on behalf of, or I guess in opposition to the gun control measures that are going on right now. The basics to it is that
Well, they got
it doesn't help. So we got a video that kind of gives it in her words, as opposed to us trying to relay what she's trying to say. So take a listen, and then we'll be right back afterwards.
My name is Savannah, and I'm a 24-year-old college student. I'm also a daughter, a niece, and a friend. There is part of my identity, however, that I never expected to have. I am a sexual assault survivor. In the fall of 2016, I was living my dream. I had just begun my senior year of college. I was at my dream school with my dream major. I loved my job and was just months away from graduating college. I was so excited, especially as a first-generation college student. What started out as any normal day ended up becoming a nightmare. That night, I was sexually assaulted. I will spare you the details, but it was the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I pray that none of you ever go through what I did, but I do know that this sort of thing seems like it can never happen to you. Before I was raped, I saw sexual assault as something that only happened to other people. It's no secret that sexual violence is prevalent on college campuses, but I took as many precautions as I could, and I tucked my concerns away in the far corners of my mind. But after that night, I could no longer be naive. I had to come face to face with the harsh reality that there are terrible people in this world that do terrible things. Detectives Benson and Stabler didn't swoop in to save me that night like they do on Law & Order SVU. Instead, I was left completely shattered, replaying the events of that night over and over again. Due to the trauma, I dropped out of my dream school during my senior year and moved back home to Virginia. It was the hardest decision I've ever had to make, but I knew in my heart it was what I had to do. I shut myself away from everyone, and I spent my time hiding in my childhood bedroom. I gained 100 pounds, and my hair even began to fall out due to the stress. I am a gun owner, and I was one at the time. I even began safety training and target practice when I was 10 years old. But because of so-called common sense gun control laws, I was left defenseless that night. In theory, yes, I could have broken the law and brought my firearm to college with me anyways, but I knew that that wasn't the right thing to do. I obeyed the law as a responsible gun owner, and it ended in me being raped. I am just one of countless examples of gun control benefiting assailants and making victims, like myself, sitting ducks. I'm not telling you about my sexual assault to make you feel bad. To be clear, I do not want your sympathy. What I do want, however, is for you to at least consider stories like mine when you decide to advocate for laws that create additional physical and financial barriers to the right to self-defense. I could come up here and recite the Second Amendment, as could I recite statistics all day long. I could get up here and scream about how since 1950, 97.8% of mass shootings have occurred in gun-free zones.
I don't know.
You're back on, by the way.
Hey, we're back on.
Still no sound. Anyway,
So, as you heard, like, she is really fighting the same fight that we've all fought. Unfortunately, she's had to go through something that most of us haven't, but unfortunately some have. So, more power to you. Have an opportunity to help yourself. Again, it doesn't have to be a firearm. It doesn't have to be a lethal device, but have some sort of a plan in that situation. And firearms really equal a lot of the playing field in a lot of situations.
She said a couple of things in there that really stuck with me. She said, "I am just one of countless examples of gun control benefiting assailants and making victims like myself sitting ducks." Okay? And since 1950, 97.8% of all these mass shootings have taken place in a gun-free zone.
Which basically equates to one has not been in a gun-free zone.
It's yeah. So, she said she doesn't want our sympathies. I absolutely respect that. She's a fighter. She's moving forward. She's looking for a way to move forward. But she is absolutely our hero and deserves our support.
Yeah. So, you had one more? One more
Another
little
hero. Thank you to the jury and the prosecution for getting, I'm not going to say his name,
His name is not
but
important.
his name is not important because he's going to prison for life for the murder of Officer Bryant.
No,
Snyder, I'm sorry, Officer Blake Snyder. That happened about 18 months ago. Happened in October of 2016, is that right? 2017 maybe. Anyway,
17.
he's going away for life, and so thank you to those jurors, thank you to those prosecutors for not listening to that "oh poor me" stuff that the defense wanted to throw at you.
Right.
We are responsible, regardless of our circumstances, for the actions that we take. You still get to make a decision on how you feel and what you're going to do with your life.
Yeah.
And he chose to do something that does not deserve. Anyway, I don't want to
Yeah.
get too worked
Anyway,
up, but thank you.
to the
Thank you.
prosecutor and to the jury.
Yep.
That's big help there. So I think that's all we got for today.
Man, we really ended that
otherwise
on
we just
ended that show on an upper,
ranting
didn't we?
on that, yeah.
Mine didn't
So
make it.
again,
Flowers.
just to touch base, MPX. If you have any ideas why
This
my
setup
dot
is
doesn't work, it'd be
Tell it.
awesome.
Yeah,
I've
you're
checked,
giving
it
them
doesn't
way-
even have a place for batteries.
You're giving him way too many. You're smart enough. Tell us what's wrong with the setup.
Anyway,
Tell everybody to buy their wife flowers.
buy wife flowers,
Buy your wife-
chocolates, take her out, do nice things for her.
Bring her to the range for the couples
If you want to
night.
date Sam, she is looking for a date to bring her to the
Oh,
shotgun range tomorrow. Doesn't even need to be romantic date, just somebody to pay for her shotgun shells.
I have my own shotgun.
Oh, she's got her own shotgun and her own shotgun shells. She just wants somebody to hang out with.
I want somebody to press the
Okay.
button for me.
So we are now a
She
dating
needs a
site.
button pusher.
Are we a dating site now?
No,
Add
do
that
you-
to our list of
No,
things
you
that we're
haven't. You
accomplished.
have a wife.
Yeah, don't tell Lisa
You
that.
ditched us in Vegas.
And I would do it again. You
Yeah,
want to keep
well.
going down that road. I can hang out with this or my wife of 34 years.
I'm not saying she couldn't have come and hung
Oh,
out
no,
with
she
us.
can't
It
hang
would have
out with you
made
guys.
it would have made Sam feel so good. to
Phil's
not
even
be
over
the
there
only-
shaking his head. No, that would have been a
Only
bad
female.
idea.
His wife loves us.
She thinks she knows us.
She made me cookies once, so I'm just leading with that.
Come to the range.
Anyway, come to the range. We got
Happy
lots of fun
Valentine's
stuff going
Day.
on. Happy Valentine's Day, and come get 10% off this weekend
Yeah. 10% off. See you next week.
online.